And welcome in. It's InGame Live Prime Time on a wild, wonderful Wednesday evening. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next two glorious hours, taking you right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching and betting in the world of sports. Ah, yes, we got NBA, we got a few baseball games, 3 NHL games, all starting from about 5 minutes on. We'll get into that stuff. We got the Masters starting tomorrow morning early. According to the last forecast, supposed to be raining tomorrow, but then it should be nice for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Brady Cannon will join us in the last hour. We'll discuss the Masters stuff with him. We got some prop bets to go over. We got same game parlays, black clouds. George Kurtz will join us in a little bit. We'll do some baseball and hockey stuff with him. So it should be a fun-filled day of 2 hours, hopefully making a couple of bucks with the boys in Vegas. How are you tonight, my friend?
I'm good. Can't wait to see what we got with the black cloud and all this other stuff. I haven't seen anything. I've been talking about golf nonstop today with a lot of people. It's crazy, isn't it? Because you handicap all this stuff and then it rains. And then it's like the horse guys when they do all this work and they look at all these numbers and they look at the training sessions, and go to race day, and the track is sloppy. It's who's a mutter, who's not. I don't know. The first day is going to be tough. We'll have Brady on later to talk about first round leaders and all that other stuff. But I don't know. Wetzel, what are you doing with the NBA tonight? Like, no joke. This is one of the hardest weeks, the 2 weeks of handicapping NBA basketball, is it not?
It is. And it should be, Dave, honestly, one of the easiest, right? I mean, forget about what happens in November and December and January, even February. It's like, who cares? It's the regular season, blah, 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 blah. But, we all kind of thought, at least I did, all right, once we get into crunch time, the final couple of games, when wins and losses will determine whether you have home field advantage in a playoff series or whether you're in a play-in game versus being actually in the top six or maybe not being in a postseason at all. This is supposed to be when, it's basically playoff basketball, but we saw it last night, right? I mean, the Lakers got a chance to really kind of clinch at least the number 9 spot with a victory over Golden State, and their best player, Anthony Davis, doesn't play. Now, maybe he's got migraines, who knows, but you know how the NBA, you don't get the luxury of doubt in the NBA when a superstar sits. You've lost that right. So an important, huge game for the Lakers, and their best player sits. I mean, and you got that throughout, tonight and last night as well with other games. It's like you don't know who's really playing, who's not playing, and these guys just don't care, and the owners don't care, I guess. The management doesn't care, head coach doesn't care. Just whoever wants to play, raise your hand. You're in. I know we may not make the playoffs if you don't play, AD, but you know what? That's okay. Don't play, no problem.
They're in the play-in game. That's all they needed. Right? So they've been like, all right, we'll concede that. We'll be in the play-in game. I know who's not playing, at least tonight. Giannis. Giannis isn't playing. He was playing in a game yesterday that didn't mean anything really, or did it? I mean, they're playing for position, yes, but they're in the playoffs. They got to either come out of the 2 spot, the 3 spot, the 4 spot, who knows? And he gets hurt. He's missing in the last 3 regular season games. Orlando's favored today against Milwaukee on the road. Now, I don't know what, sometimes these smart moves, NBA projections on, I don't know, again, if it's smarter to be on SportsGrid, if it's smarter to have a model. I don't know how these things come about, but I go, whoa, I got to really look at this. I mean, the Bucks haven't been playing well at all. What does that say? 2-6 against the spread in their last 8?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Is it that easy where you just go, Orlando's to play? I mean, do you even get involved in a game like this? How do you know what's going on with Milwaukee right now? Other than they fired the coach and Doc Rivers got like a 500 record under Doc Rivers. Come on.
Yeah. How bad, how when Doc goes home at night, right? I mean, listen, he's collected a huge paycheck, so maybe he just doesn't care. But they were basically 20 games over 500 under Adrian Griffin, and supposedly Giannis didn't like him, and Doc comes in and they've been playing 500 basketball ever since. I mean, that is 20 games over for a guy that you don't like to a guy you like, and you're playing 500 basketball and you're taking games off. Now, he seems to be legitimately hurt, but I don't know what you do with the Bucks, right? I mean, it's hard not to, You want to give me Milwaukee Pick'em at home in a game that they're only leading the Knicks by 1 day for the number 2 spot. So again, theoretically, that they should be giving us their A game tonight, because they don't want to fall into the number 3 spot. So they'd have to be, the Knicks would get home court advantage if they faced each other in the second round. So you would think, but Damian Lillard hasn't shown the ability to step up and be the man and carry Bucks to wins when Giannis doesn't play. So this would be a classic, in-game line. Let me see how this thing starts, and if Orlando jumps out on top, maybe I'll take the Bucks plus 5 or 6, or vice versa, and then I'll take the Magic plus 5 or 6.
Well, the other game it's getting ready to start, OKC. You start the season really crazy spreads, and in the earlier game, Cleveland closed like 19 against Memphis. Well, coming up, you want a sure thing? Is this a sure thing? OKC's minus 17 against San Antonio. 17 in an NBA game. I can't believe it. I mean, the computer knows here. Pick, by 12. How do you lay 17 in a game pregame? You can't do it. And you want to buck the trends? Spurs 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 road games. This is a game on the road. It's at OKC. Thunder 2-7. ATS their last 9 road games. This one fits the trends. Take the Spurs plus the points.
That would use no Wembanyama tonight, but here's why I lean towards laying the monster wood. Because Memphis, as you mentioned, Dave, 16, 17, 18-point underdogs, right? They're actually leading at the half. So 51-48. So I could see bettors who lay the 17-18 with Cleveland say, oh, no, you're not going to fool me twice. Give me San Antonio. Absolutely. Just like with Memphis. Yeah, give me the big points, because one will cover and one won't. And more than likely, you'll be on the wrong side of both. Isn't that how it works out, right? So, but again, who could do that, right? Laying 17 at home. And the Spurs have been playing well. I know no Wembanyama, but they're actually 5-3 their last 8 games. And we've seen tons of teams win without their best player. So if you're not asking them to win, just be somewhat respectable like they've been over the last couple of weeks. So I'm leaning towards San Antonio, believe it or not.
Good luck. Good luck. That's one of those ones where, like, I'd be in a book and someone comes up and I'm like, good luck. That's as long as you don't get mad, I'll say good luck. Let it go. One of the games of the night, I mean, you get a team like Dallas playing Miami. That's another one where I think you're getting the best effort from both teams in a spot like that. I'm looking ahead. We'll talk more about it after the break, but I like Dallas. I thought that number was suspicious, like the kids say, sus before the game. Small lead right now, end of the first quarter. We're coming up. I like Dallas.
Yeah, so did I. A little nugget with this. We'll talk about it when we come back, but a little mental edge for the Dallas Mavericks heading into this game. So just getting underway, in-game live, prime time. You're on the grid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing the player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get them at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And welcome back in-game live, prime time right here on the grid, just getting underway on this Wednesday, the day before the beginning of the Masters, the 88th Masters. We've had 87. Who's going to win? John Rahm captured it last year. What do you think? Not too many guys have back-to-back, Masters champions. So difficult to do one time, let alone two. But the possibility is there for Rahm. Keith Stewart, he's from Golf Digest, was on Coast to Coast with Scotty this afternoon talking about the Rahm's quest for back-to-back Masters championships.
You do have one live guy right at the top.
Oh, I mean, we got to have Rahmbo. This guy, he's the defending champion, and I know you and everybody else is going to get all over me and say, "Hey, defending champions don't win there." Well, they do. Three of them have done it, but right now in the field, he's the strokes gained leader, right? He's the scoring average leader. 7 trips, 5 top 10s. He owns the green jacket, and I'm telling you right now, not only Carver does he look good, he looks angry. Okay. And in my mind, him being slighted and having Rory ahead of him with the Q1 that Rory has had performance wise. And, I'll tell you another quick story about Rory in a second, but Rahm, I mean, that is just fuel for his fire. And that doesn't give him anxiety. That gives him motivation. That's like his Mamba mentality coming out. That's like Jordan being slighted, up there on the whiteboard in the locker room. There is no way. Rahm is so fired up. He looks so focused, and he's hitting the ball really good. He leads live in birdies. I mean, he's doing all the right things. He was great at Doral. That's an awesome comp course for Augusta National. He was top 4 over the weekend. He didn't, waste too much energy, ran right through that.
There you go. Keith Stewart on with Carver actually filling in for Scotty today on Coast to Coast this afternoon. So he says that he's got a pretty good shot. I don't know about all that, Dave. Listen, there's 89 golfers, and most of the golfers are less than 89 to 1. So it's kind of like horse racing with me. Which is just I never could get my hands around the fact that there's 12 horses in a race and I'm picking one and it's only 4 to 1. It's like, why would it be 12 to 1? There's 12 possibilities. That's how golf is to me. But I do love some of the props. But do you have any thought? I know we're going to have Brady on a little bit later on, but have you picked 3, 4, 5 golfers that you think has a chance to win?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of the great guys that I call the ball strikers talk about all this golf all week so far. We'll have Brady on, who's one of my favorite ball strikers in the space, to talk more about it. What I'll do is probably in the midst of like your train ride home, maybe I'll run to the book and fire on 6 guys and take a shot on somebody to make the cut or something just to have some action. But I don't really feel strong yet about anybody, only because of the weather. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to mention it. And, there's a prop, will Tiger make the cut? This is one of the most bet on props, okay, of the entire tournament. Whether a guy who's a legend, I mean, Tiger Woods changed the whole face of golf and changed the way people wagered on golf. Will he make the cut? If it's raining and it's bad, like he's got to fight the weather, I think I would bet no. I mean, I know a lot of guys make the cut, and I don't think the score is going to have to be that low to make the cut. But my goodness, have you seen them walk? Like, that's a hilly place. I don't like it.
It's not bad. I didn't think about the weather. I mean, I knew that it was supposed to rain tomorrow, then be good Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I didn't think with the weather. I mean, the last time we saw him, he was battling the flu and decided he couldn't finish. It was so bad. Now I'm sure he's recovered since that. But between the flu and his back and his legs and his foot and this and that, you're right. But I almost enjoy it. Actually, I do. Not almost. I enjoy it when I ask you, do you have an angle on something? And you say, no, not really, right? Because that presents a challenge to me to have you leave the show tonight and say, all right, I got to put this bet in because Wetzel said this. So here we go. Yep. You ready?
Here we go.
If I gave you an opportunity to do something in which you only had to complete the task one time, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to give you 1,112 opportunities to complete that task. Do you think you could get it done one time out of 1,100?
Is this a trick question? This sounds like a trick question. The answer is absolutely, unequivocally, absolutely yes. I think I would bet myself yes.
All right. Now you have to bet yes minus 2-1, but I still think I would do that, right? That's the bet for a hole-in-one at the Masters. Each site's a little different, but it's going to be right around minus 2-1, right? And where do I come up with the 1,100 chances? Well, there's 89 golfers to start, right? There's 4 par 3s in the round, 2 in the front 9, 2 in the back 9. So I got 89 golfers getting 4 chances in round number 1. I got 89 golfers getting 4 chances in number 2. The cut is 50 plus ties. So let's just say 55. That's generally right around how many golfers make the cut. I got 55 more chances 4 times round number 3 and 55 more golfers for round number 4 more times. You add it all up, and I have the world's best golfers combining for 1,112 chances on those par 3s to get a hole-in-one. I'm doing it. I'm going to lay the 2-1. What do you think?
Now that you've presented it like that, like a math problem. I know this number. We used to make this number. It was plus money, small, like plus 120, that there would be a hole-in-one. Like I'm talking 10 years ago, something like that. And progressively, as these guys have gotten better and better and better, and everybody remembers Tiger's hole-in-one on 16, where the ball feeds on Sunday, it feeds right to the hole. So it doesn't have to happen on Sunday. It can happen on Thursday. I would love nothing more than in the rain tomorrow, in the first 4 hours, to have a hole-in-one made. That would be awesome. We could get that out of the way. Tell the wife we're going out for a steak dinner because Wetzel said that there would be a hole-in-one, and I went and did it. I took a shot. So I like it. I mean, I like it. I'm interested in whether it be 2 hole-in-ones. I mean, FanDuel put up that prop, and you could bet there'd be 2 hole-in-ones. There's a prop. Will there be a hole-in-one on Sunday, round 4? You got 55 cracks at it 4 times, right? There's 4 par 3s. Yep. So you get Sunday pin placements. That's not a bad bet. Minus 130, minus 135, minus 200 shouldn't scare you away with all those numbers. I'll be surprised if there isn't a hole-in-one. So you did good.
How about Tiger Woods 100 to 1. Now, you might only get 2 rounds, but that's still 4 chances. 100 to 1, put $5 on it, right? $5. And maybe, just maybe. He's done it before, right?
He has. Yeah, I don't think he's getting a hole in one, but that's fine. You can take a shot. Like, we'll walk him into the book. I can't send a limo for you for $5, but
Right.
If you really wanted to fire, we can see what we could do with that. 100 to 1. Listen, the chances of getting a hole in one. You're a member of the hole in one club, as am I. We discussed this yesterday.
Yep.
It's not easy. Do you think you'll ever get another hole in one? Do you play enough golf to think you'll get another hole in one ever?
No, although I do want to play some more golf. I only get out there a couple of times a summer. I used to go with my neighbor, but then he hurt his back, so he stopped. And you kind of need that. You got to be in that group. I kind of lost those group of friends. So I'd like to think my next goal is holding it in from the fairway. I'd get a bigger thrill out of that. I think at this point.
I did it one time.
Been there, done that. Yeah, no big deal.
Oh, been there, done that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I got another one, pretty good. I got a bunch of these, but I got another one we'll bring up when we come back before we hit the baseball and hockey slate. Coming up next.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing a player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid on a Wednesday evening. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. We got hockey, we got baseball, we got NBA, we got Masters, a little bit of everything. Joining us now to discuss it all, our good buddy George Kurtz, who joined us last night, joining us again tonight. What's going on, George? How are you this evening?
Well, I've been better, all right? I've been better. Got a bunch of bets on the Yankees here. Not only am I a fan of the team, but I thought they would take care of business tonight, all right? And they're not scoring at all tonight. So there are three teams that I need to win tonight. One's winning, the Padres, thank you. One's losing, the Yankees. And for the love of God, if the Athletics sweep the Rangers, I'm going to have a conniption in about 2.5 hours.
In Texas, no less.
Yeah.
It can't happen. It can't happen. It literally can't happen. Of course, the A's had to score a run in the first inning, but Texas has tied it up. So it is what it is.
They lead now 3-1, actually. So
nice.
Still batting in the bottom of the first.
So as long as I get those, if the Rangers and Padres win and they win by 2.
Nope.
Okay.
We lose them? I think we lost them. All right. So
he was so excited. We lost them.
I know. When I told him the Rangers were leading, he was like, whoa, I'm out of here. Let me go cash my ticket now.
I know. Yeah. I don't know.
One thing I want to get into, I see Baltimore with Jackson Holiday, Dave. The breaking news we had last night about him being called up, automatically put into the Baltimore Orioles lineup. He struck out his first at bat. I don't think he must have gotten another at bat because they're in the fifth inning.
Right.
But the odds on him. I was gonna be, well, why not? Let's have some fun tonight. Let's put a couple props in on him because we're gonna be talking about him a little bit. He was minus 190 to get a base hit in his major league debut, albeit at Fenway Park, but still almost 2-1 to get a base hit from a guy that could be hitting 200, in 2 weeks from now. I mean, crazy, no?
That's hard to believe. That's a little bit extra, like the kids say. Little bit much. But he's on third base right now. The Orioles have stranded I don't know how many runners. I like the Orioles pregame. Need them to break through here in the fifth. We shall see. George, take a breath. Don't worry about the Yankees right now. Okay, relax. Any thoughts on Milwaukee and Cincinnati coming up here in about 3 minutes? Looked at this game and thought, all right, got to be Cincy, right? I mean, Milwaukee's been kind of a surprise. Total under tonight for me in that game. Any thoughts on that game for you?
Yeah, once again, I'm with you here, right? Wade Miley making his first start. I don't expect much from him tonight. I think he gets hit around here. So I'm on Milwaukee. I'm on their run total. Didn't take the total of the game because I just wondered if Hunter Green could possibly shut down Milwaukee. Although the Brewers have been hitting probably a little stronger than we expected, right? Yelich is hitting the long ball again. Churio has been fantastic. Yes, maybe the top rookie in the National League here. But I'm on the Reds tonight and their team total.
We were talking, George, when we lost you there for a second about Holiday. Orioles recalled him last night. He's in the lineup tonight, batting ninth, which I think is a little weird, but okay. They're batting him ninth. I guess, after they go around the rotation one time, at least he's got a little protection, I suppose. But he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. I don't know. You're more into the fantasy stuff. Is the fantasy world going gaga? Did they have a big battle on who's going to get this guy? And I was telling Dave, I looked on FanDuel anyway, his prop to get a base hit was minus 190, which I think is just crazy for a rookie making his debut. But what are your thoughts on Holiday being called up by the Orioles?
Surprising it was this early. Really, what was the point of sending him down then? We knew in spring training he was ready. There was no doubt about that. What was the point of sending him down for 10, 12 days here? So that was my first thought there. It's good if you have, listen, if you got the Rookie of the Year and you took, if you took Holiday, great for you, right? Because now Langford, who is really his main competition, or who we think is his main competition, well, the counting numbers aren't that far ahead, right, as far as home runs, RBIs, and such like that. So good news for you there. I don't think Holiday is leaving the Orioles, unless he's, like I said, he struggles. Hey, Mike Trout did struggle originally when he first got called up. And we go back to Scott's favorite player. By the way, a 2-run home run with Trout last night, Scott. But he did get sent down after his original call-up, back in the day. So I think he's here to stay. Not all that worried about it. He did make a rookie mistake tonight. If you're watching the game here, there was a Texas leaguer. It was 2 outs, running on first. The runners were running there. He couldn't catch it. Not really his fault. Like I said, Texas league in the middle of nowhere. But it took him like a half a beat to realize, oh, he's running. And by the time he picked up the ball and threw it home, it was too late. If he would have done it right away, probably would have had the runner there. So a little bit of a rookie mistake. I think he was frustrated he couldn't get to the ball there. He's going to be fine. He's not going to bat ninth forever. He will move up in the lineup. This is a superstar waiting to happen. You mentioned fantasy leagues. Well, one of the big discussions in fantasy drafts was, where do you take him? When's he coming up? Is he going to start the season with the team? So you're thrilled right now because most people at that point in fantasy leagues, we didn't know he was going to be sent down. So you probably got him in around round 8. In normal times, this guy's around probably 4 pick next year. So you got a 4-round bonus here, and he's going to be with the team for the rest of the year. A Baltimore team that can score runs by the bushels here. Fantasy owners are thrilled. Anybody who played Rookie of the Year for Holiday is really happy right about now.
7 stranded left on base for the Orioles through 5. They trail 3-0 to the Red Sox. Pivot to the hockey, George. The Vegas Golden Knights are playing in Edmonton. Has not been a good couple of games for the Knights. And, I guess McDavid's going to play. I don't know if he's going to play. He wasn't going to play. The line tells me maybe he's not going to play. But the Oilers at home, there it is. Team trends, 5 straight on home ice. I feel like this one's a bargain tonight. Am I missing something with this game tonight?
McDavid is not going to play. All right, he didn't go on the ice for long. He's out tonight. So it's sort of a shame because I was all set to take Edmonton. Vegas played last night. Little tired legs here. The game is still important to Edmonton. They're trying to catch Vancouver for first place here. It's not like they have nothing to play for. And now this sort of throws a little monkey in the wrench here that McDavid's out. So I'm still taking Edmonton, but instead of a larger bet, so now it's just a token bet here that I'll go with the Oilers here. I think they can survive one game without him. He's got a lower body injury, a little banged up here. He skated alone in practice this morning, so that pretty much let you know he was probably not going to play. A normal player was never going to play skating alone here. It is McDavid. We thought maybe he still might return tonight, but he's not. Still, Draisaitl, Hyman, possibly get it done here. Aiden Hill, by the way, making his return for the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. He's been out a few weeks, close to a month, right, with the injury there. He's back in between the pipes tonight. So I wonder if he can be a little rusty as well here. Like I said, you would ask me 3 hours ago, I had a much bigger play on Edmonton. Now, small token play. Don't like that McDavid's out there. And really, I sort of gave it half a thought just to leave this game alone, period.
Yeah, I'm surprised this line. I figured he wasn't going to play when they were like pick him basically minus 120. I think I saw it go up to like 122, 123, and it bounced back down to basically pick him 111. Edmonton, this is not like Pittsburgh, Dave. Your Penguins losing Crosby. McDavid is good. Don't get me wrong, but that team is loaded. Vegas is playing lousy. They were losing record on the road all season long. Edmonton, as you said, George, needs a game. They should still be a minus 140 favorite, no?
I don't know about 140. I think at home they should probably be higher than 111. Which is once again why I'm taking. We're getting a decent price here, but Vegas is a good team. I wonder this: if Vegas didn't play last night, would they be the favorite tonight? If it's pretty much it's minus 108, minus 111. I wonder if Vegas didn't play last night. It might be reverse. They would be the favorite tonight. It's in Edmonton. Like I said, the Oilers worry me, because sometimes I wonder if they don't have all of their stars here. They one little monkey's in the wrench here. They don't play as well. So it does worry me somewhat here. Like I said, if Vegas didn't play last night, I'd be on Vegas tonight. They did play last night. I don't trust Aiden Hill in his first game back, so I want to see how he plays first here. Small play on the Oilers.
All right. Got to mention it because it's the only other hockey game on the board. The Blues are winning 4-0. All right. If the Blues win, the Knights lose. They're 3 points back. I won't even mention that. But Vancouver is playing Arizona, who may soon become the Salt Lake City Coyotes. I don't know if you heard this. They're going to move to Salt Lake, maybe. I can't believe it. Minus 260 here. I'm out in the desert. It's minus 280. This is right in your wheelhouse, George. You've been nicknamed Captain Chalk by the Canadian guys, Morency and Cam. So you laying it? You afraid of anything here?
Speaking of Cam, he and I are going to the Island of Montreal game tomorrow. Go Islanders, Dave. So
hello. Let's go.
That's right. We'll be at that game. I think in section 313, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. Cam and I will be at the game tomorrow night. You're right. This is the hanging curve. All right. I already have it in a parlay with St. Louis. So go Blues, go. That was sort of the easy one of the night, right? They'll take care of Chicago. And I'm on Vancouver as well. Vancouver, I think they'll win the game tonight. It is important to them. They can't just lay down here and wait for the playoffs here. Edmonton could catch them. Pretty much they have to win out and Vancouver lose out or close to that. So I think the Canucks take care of business here. If you're just playing this game straight, minus 260, I'm not doing that. Arizona's not a terrible team. But that being said, you could take it on the goal line, minus a goal and a half here, or an anytime goal scorer, maybe a Pedersen, maybe a JT Miller here. I can see it going with anywhere of a couple of guys here. Brock Besser, probably not Besser. He's been a little cold of late, although he did score last night here. But give me Vancouver and St. Louis in the parlay here. And like I said, I don't mind the goal line either. Vancouver should take care of business. They did play last night, though, but then again, so did Arizona.
Well, how about that little stat we had up there? You know, the Arizona Coyotes, one of the worst teams in hockey, have only been shut out 2 times. They're coming off a 5-0 shutout against Seattle.
Yeah.
Some of their second
One was
time.
last night. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arizona. Thanks. Go to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City.
And nice job by St. Louis, too.
Yeah.
The Blues, where was this against San Jose a couple of games ago, right? Thanks for nothing, St. Louis. George, good job as always, my friend. We'll do it again. Enjoy the weekend. Good luck with your bets, and we'll talk to you next week for sure. All right, InGame Live continues here in the Grid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing a player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Thanks again for George Kurtz joining us. Talk a little hockey, a little baseball with him. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next hour and change. Do a little golf with Brady Cannon next hour. In the meantime, we'll continue to look at the scores. And I tell you, there's two scores really, Dave, that jump off the page baseball-wise. One, the Stankies being shut out at home against the god-awful 1-11 Miami Marlins. And then two, how about Houston? Losing again tonight, 7-0 at Kansas City. They brought this pitcher up, Arrighetti up, making his debut. He's getting whacked by your Royals. When do we say, okay, this is more than just a slow start? Let's assume they lose. I think that puts them at 4-9, if my memory serves me right. Let's see. Astros. Yeah, the 4-8. So let's say they go to 4-9. I mean, it's first 2 weeks of the season, but from a betting standpoint, I'm at the point after tonight, and I bet on them again tonight because I have this anti-Royals parlay that I always include. I'm done betting against Kansas City, and I'm done betting on the Astros. When does it flip to actually betting against the Astros?
Well, I can't tell you what to do with your shekels, but I came on dressed yesterday like Bo Jackson and Buddy Biancalana.
It worked.
It did work. That was good. Brett Saberhagen. I love those Royals teams in the mid-'80s. George Brett was my favorite player, my first real favorite player, not a Pittsburgh Pirate. Royals team, seriously, with Bobby Witt, great, like a really good lineup. I think they're going to continue to score runs. Their whole future is dependent upon their pitching. Sally's tremendous behind the plate, perennial all-star. I think you're going to see the market undervalue them. A lot of people that I talk to with the baseball stuff and on MLB Network and all this other stuff have talked about the Royals now. They were a year early last year. This might be the year where they improve to the point where they're close to 500. Over the season wins, 74 is what it closed. A lot of people got over 72, 73. So I don't know. This is one of your rules. I do the shows with you only twice a week. We should do the shows, if we do it more. I listen to what you say. Winners bet on streaks and losers bet against streaks. How could you have Houston tonight? You violated one of your golden rules, Wetzel's golden rules.
I know. But it's still the Royals. Like that's why when does they're in a lousy division, right? I mean, every team in that division stinks. So they can make up ground a lot easier versus if they were in the AL East. But I got to get that stench of it's the Royals. I give them, and I always tell myself you got to let the bad teams be bad and the good teams be good. So I don't want to jump off or on their bandwagon too soon. But, the anti-Royals parlay is killing me here. Really, I'm doing okay with everything else, but the Royals are really just like, I did not expect this. I really did. So 7-0 tonight over the Astros. This poor kid is still in there. I mean, how long are they going to keep the guy in there? Listen, hey, Skip, he doesn't have it, all right? He's given up. His major league debut, Dave, he's allowed 7 runs on 7 hits and 3 walks. He's thrown 79 pitches. I mean, what more do you need to see, Skip, to realize he's overwhelmed right now? Take him out of the game, for goodness sakes. No?
Probably the analytics guys said you got to go 3 innings. It's just a test just to get 3 innings, right? We got to throw so many pitches. Damn the result right now. I don't know. Let him work through it. Sometimes there's times where the manager says he's got to work through it. Who knows? You never really know what's going on. You said you looked down, you saw 2 scores that, jumped out at you. I looked down and did the same thing in the NBA. All right. When we started the segment with Kurtz, it was at halftime, Grizzlies and Cavaliers. The Grizzlies were actually leading at halftime. It is now 70-63 with 1.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cleveland is leading. The other one, there's two actually. It jumped out at me just now. Are you kidding me? Dallas is up 69-47 at the half over the Heat. And my goodness, what is OKC doing to the San Antonio Spurs without Wembanyama? 44-19 with 8.5 minutes to go. Wow. Okay. What's the in game? I'm afraid to even look. Let me hit refresh. Oh, it's 30 and a half. 30 and a half.
Goodness.
How do you bet the NBA at all pregame? It's just crazy. You always ask me these crazy bets you think you come up with. I'm going to ask you right now. Do you want 30 and a half with the San Antonio Spurs right now?
No,
it's not enough.
I don't trust Pops. The NBA is a quirky, weird little thing, Dave. It's a complicated draft. You basically have to finish in the 3 worst spots that have the same amount of ping pong balls to get the number 1 overall pick, right? So worst record, second worst record, third worst record, doesn't matter. You still get a 14%. But they draft or they take 4, though, ping pong ball combinations. So theoretically, if you're in the number 4 hole, we'll say, and teams 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 win the draft, then it takes those 4 teams and then your actual order. So long story short, you want to be in the top 3 as far as worst teams are concerned. So with this little run for the Spurs, they've moved out of the bottom 3, and now they're sitting in the number 4 spot, close to catching the number 5 team. Now they could have gone this whole year and end up with theoretically the 8th, pick in the NBA draft, which is basically worthless. So because of that, Wembanyama all of a sudden is sitting out the game, and that had all the signs of San Antonio Popovich just not trying tonight. So you could give me 40 now. I did take them plus 17 and a half, though thinking, okay, you know what? But this performance, I wouldn't. Like I said, you can honestly give me 40, and this has got 125.80 written all over it. So I'd stay away from that one. We both like Dallas, right? Here's the thing. Miami played last night on the road, double overtime game, no less, in Atlanta. Or not Dallas. Miami did that. And Dallas was off. So this was, the logic said Dallas Mavericks, and they're up 22 right now, laying 16 and a half. That I would lay. I'd lay the 16 and a half because I think this is going to be a rout as well from start to finish.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking to take the Heat plus the points. No, not for me. Not now. I just took a peek. I'm watching a baseball game. The Orioles just got 2 in the 6th. So it was 5-0. Now it's 5-2. The Orioles are threatening. Another base runner. I don't know, Scott. Sometimes the managers, they change the pitcher because it's a pitch count or because they don't want to go third time through the order. You take a guy out who has a shutout going, then you bring in a reliever, and he comes in and promptly gives up 3 hits, a double, and gives up a couple runs, and the next guys get on. I don't know. I'm old school. If the guy's cruising and he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches, I leave him in. This is like betting opportunities we talk about all the time, right? Sometimes when they change the pitcher, it's time to bet the guy, or to bet like Baltimore. We could have gotten 4.5 before this inning started. We're back in the game now. 5-2, nobody out. Runners at second and third. We could get to over. If we get a base hit, both runs score. I need over 8.5 initially. Let's go. I love in-game betting baseball. It's so much fun. I love it.
Guess who's up, too, for the Orioles? We're runners on second and third.
That's our guy.
That's our guy.
How about this?
How about that? You're right, though, about the Red Sox, right? This Crawford, good pitcher, too. He's not like a bad pitcher that's just, okay, let's get him out of there before he turns back into being the pitcher he really is. He's a good pitcher for the Red Sox. They're all young, so 5 innings, 2 hits he's allowed to. Struck out 6 for 86 pitches, but you still should be able to get another inning out of him, right? You could stretch him to 100 pitches, and they take him out of the game. He's got an ERA of 0.57. It's only 5 innings. Just keep him out there. What are you doing, right?
Yeah. Well, Holiday ground out second and third.
All right, we'll take the RBI.
What works? A ground ball to the right side. Fundamental baseball. Moves the runner from second to third. Runner scores from third. It's 5-3. Just like that, 1 out. Maybe we could get another run here. I'd like to see a home run and tie it, but That's good baseball.
I put a little parlay in. Can I get a stolen base from the dude? I put a parlay.
Do you have your same game parlay? Do you have an SGP that we could pop in there right now?
Yeah, why not? Doesn't pertain to holiday, but if you want to jump the gun there, yeah, want to do that? There you go. We're supposed
to get this in here quickly.
At least one of us is looking at the rundown. But I do have holiday parlay. I need a stolen base, 18-1. Because I needed an RBI in a stolen base. So cha-ching on that one, hopefully. All right, little SGP time here on the grid. All right, we're going to go to the NBA, not for long, as the saying goes, even though the initials don't work. We're going to go Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. Now, when I put this in, the line was Phoenix laying 4.5 on the road. But that's now imploded. Last time I checked, nobody is playing for the Clippers. It's up to 11.5 maybe in some circles. I'm going to flip it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. The graphics guy, you're going to hurt me. But I'm taking the LA Clippers. Give me, you know what? I always say, these star players, when they don't play, the teams find a way to win. Who's Phoenix to be laying double digits on the road? So whatever line you can get with the Clippers, I am now taking the Clippers, figure 10 or 11. I'll use the other guys still. I'll use Kevin Durant 4 assists. I'll use Durant 6 rebounds. I'll use Devin Booker 3 3-pointers and over 26.5 points for Devin Booker. But give me the Clippers to win, maybe outright, but I'll take the 10.5, 11. And that parlay pays plus that'll pay about 11-1. If you use Phoenix, it paid about 8-1. But if you use the Clippers, it jumps up to 11-1. So
it's the first time in the history of the show, me and you doing it together, that you've done that. That you've flipped the same game parlay. Now, I don't know what anyone was thinking pregame with Phoenix being favored. All right, somebody somewhere was going, what if Kawhi don't play? All right, that's right. What we better put the line up if he don't play. Okay. So now everybody ain't playing. And the line steams 8 points. 8 points on the day of the game. All right. This is why, again, I'm keeping track with Peralta. I'm on probably reason number 4.2 million, why I'm glad I'm not sitting in a risk room trying to book the end of the season NBA. This drives you crazy. It's really, really tough. I don't know. I used to tell people this at the window all the time, Scott. Don't change your bet at the window. It usually results in bad things. I hope that's not the only thing that doesn't cover now that you've changed it.
I know. But I can't say 4.5 because it's not 4.5 now. This is when we're revealing it. So would I really lay 11.5?
That line that doesn't exist. It's gone.
Yeah. I will close at hour number 1 then.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing a player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time. Hour number one, hour number two coming up in just a couple of moments. But finishing up hour number one with, we had the same game parlay last segment, little black cloud this segment. Yes, going to go to the ice. We got a limited schedule tonight. One game already underway, two starting shortly, including the Edmonton Oilers at home against the Vegas Golden Knights. This line makes absolutely no sense. Vegas is at home. I know it's no Connor McDavid. I get that, but Edmonton is still twice the team Vegas is, with or without McDavid, when they're on their home ice. That's because Edmonton is 26-11 this year at home. Vegas is 18-24 on the road this year. I will say Edmonton 19-33 without McDavid in the lineup since he's come into the league in 2015. So it's not great. It's not great. I get that, but if this team is loaded from top to bottom, they need the game to try to catch the Canucks for first place in the Pacific. Vegas needs the game as well, but I think this is an overlay. There's way too much credit given to Vegas in this game, Dave. I love Edmonton. You want to give me the Oilers, pick them. They won 5 straight at home as well. Love Edmonton tonight. Let all the saps bet on Vegas. They're not winning tonight. Oilers win by double digits.
Why? I mean, I had to put the listening glasses on for this, and I might have to hide my tears because I really liked Edmonton too, and sometimes this black cloud works. Sometimes it doesn't. But now we have added pressure on this. I mean, my little one's downstairs watching the show right now. We're going to watch the Oilers and Knights game here in a little bit. And I think everything you said is right. But I heard that 19-33 without McDavid. This makes me very, very nervous. Edmonton's supposed to win this game. Kurtz made a good case. Hill's first start back. Let's get Edmonton in regulation.
There you go. Even better, getting odds with Edmonton at home. Can't beat it.
smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome in. It's InGame Live Primetime, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza, flowing along here on a wild, wonderful Wednesday. As we have a little hockey, we got a little NBA, we got a little baseball, we got a little Masters. Brady Cannon will join us in about 40 minutes. We'll go over his Masters picks, picking up from where we left off last night with him. We got a bunch of props pertaining to the Masters that we want to go over and hopefully make a couple of shekels along the way, Dave. So NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. Why don't we start with a little baseball action? We need some comebacks here. I did put in White Sox a moment ago, plus 160 against Cleveland, going to extra innings. I love betting on these underdogs going to extra innings. It's just a crapshoot. I want to go back whenever I get a free moment and see what the record is of road teams in extra inning games now that we have this goofy, runner on second base, because there are so many times that team will score and you get a great opportunity like tonight, White Sox and Guardians, right? Extra innings, pick them. Who knows who's going to win? I got White Sox plus 160. They do score. And now the Guardians are plus 176 on the other side. Now I grab the Guardians, and then boom, I got 160 over here, 170 or so over there, and I got myself a nice fat middle. So I like the baseball diamond tonight.
That's how you call earning. That's what you call arbing. That's what you call winning when you get plus money on both sides like that and you don't have a sweat. You take out all the emotion and you get to the window. I like what you're doing there. We talked about it a little bit in the first hour. We can talk about it briefly now. The NBA, I don't know. This looks like a chalk. Oh, except one. It doesn't look like it's going to be, at least right now. Cleveland's beating and covering against Memphis, almost covering. They probably will. Atlanta smoking Charlotte. Toronto's beating Brooklyn. I can't explain that one. Dallas beating Miami. OKC doubling up San Antonio. Incredible.
What do you think Popovich is saying to his guys at halftime, right? Hey guys, we're down 33. It's 68-35. Way to go, boys! Don't give up. We got a shot. What could this guy possibly be telling his team that is so putrid? They give up damn near 70 points. They only scored 35. And it's got to be close to the record. I'm sure it's not, but it's got to be close to the NBA record, trailing by the most points at halftime. I mean, 33 stinking points. I mean, what do you tell your guys? Do you yell at them? Do you scream at them? You throw clipboards? You do a little Bobby Knight action on them? You give it the new rock speech? Well, what do you do, Dave? Anything?
No.
You're a coach.
You know what to do?
I'm sure after like third inning, you've been down 7-8 nothing after in a softball game with your girls, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to ask him, like, hey, do you guys want to be out in that sun? Or do you want to just, try to at least get 3 outs. If we can't hit, we can't hit. That's fine. But what I think Pop is doing, what I would do in a lot of these situations, I'd ask him where we eating after the game. Like, just completely forget about it. Like, hey, who's in the mood for pizza? Or who's in the mood for Mexican? Because at this point, we're toast. We can't win. But in sports betting, they got 38 points, right? San Antonio got 38 points. The line
35.
here in Vegas right now is 35.5. When in the hell do you get as many points as you've scored in a basketball game? Almost. I just clicked refresh because I thought I was looking at it wrong. That's the line right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see some crazy stuff. I'm guessing Pop is going, all right, look, everybody got dinner reservations. All right, let's get out of here. Don't foul. All right, just don't foul. Did you see yesterday the Celtics and the Bucks? Peralt and I talked about it today on the show. There was 2 fouls called in the whole game. The whole game.
No.
Bucks. 2 fouls. 2 fouls in the whole game. 2 fouls. They didn't call a foul on the Celtics. Go look at the box score.
That can't be. That cannot be.
I couldn't believe it.
Hold on. Every once in a while, I'll read something or I'll hear something where I just say, no. No, that's not the case. I didn't think
the game took 2 hours and 8 minutes total time, beginning to end.
12 fouls.
No fouls.
All right. 12 fouls total. I knew it could have been 2. There's no way. 8 on the Celtics, 4 on the Bucks. 4 fouls on the Milwaukee Bucks. 4. That's it. An entire game.
12
in a low-scoring game.
See, I got to tell.
Wasn't even like they were just running up and down the court.
Told me 2 fouls. Can't believe anything my co-host says sometimes. It's Boston people. It's 12. It was 12.
12. What's the difference?
He forgot the 1. He didn't carry the 1.
It's kind of like my wife when she says, dinner's ready. It's like, where's the food? Oh, I forgot to cook. It's time for dinner.
Wait, I heard something. It was only 2 free throws. Is that right?
2 free throws, maybe. Yes. 2 free throws.
2 free throws in an NBA basketball game.
That is amazing.
That's unbelievable.
Celtics had no free throws.
There we go. See? So he was right. I said the stat wrong. Thank you, Vinny, Patrick, Jack, all the boys. Thank goodness you guys are keeping us on the rails with the show. That's incredible. So Papa's saying, look, no fouls. Don't foul.
Yeah.
Just keep the clock running. Let's get out of here. All right, we're on the road in OKC. It's a short trip back to San Antonio. I don't even know where they're at next. But listen, shower, be ready to go 15 minutes after the game, and we're going on the road. That's it. Done.
Don't talk to the media. Just be done. Just say we're trying. We tried. We failed. Let's just move on. I mean, I'm glad I didn't know that because I would have bet against Milwaukee because that tells me they didn't try last night. Even though they won and the Celtics tried even less. If you're not creating or generating any fouls and you're only going to the free throw line one time, Giannis had both free throws, that tells me you didn't try, right? So why would they try or not try last night and try tonight? But that said, they are leading tonight against Orlando, 64-50. But that's embarrassing. Wow, that's got to be a record for fewest free throws. Was there a game with no free throws? Modern day. Maybe way back when, but modern day, last 30, 40 years, I imagine that's the fewest. Wow, that's amazing. That's
Edmonton,
crazy.
1. Knights, 0.
Cha-ching.
Boy,
Cha-ching.
every time there's a goal scored, we only got 3 hockey games left on the board today. Every time a goal is scored, please blow the goal horn. I'm going to need that.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that tonight. All right, please.
Some dude, Ceci, scored. C-E-C-I. That's right. This team is loaded. We got to start rooting for. No. We don't have Edmonton. My bad. Edmonton was in the losers bracket. All right. We got Dallas. Who do we got? Dallas, Colorado, and Florida. We got to be for. Yeah.
Yes.
So this one really doesn't affect us that
2
much.
shots in the West.
Not even in this game. Yeah.
I like that.
2 shots in the West. I like that. I do. All right. InGame Live. Thank you.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing a player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, hour number 2. We got Brady Cannon joining us in about a half hour. Do a little golf with him. But in the meantime, we'll continue to look at the baseball, hockey, and NBA lines. And baseball got a little walk-off, Dave. We talked about it, right? Grab the White Sox when it was in the bottom of the 9th inning, tied. I was getting monster odds just because it's the White Sox and they stink as well. They score a run top of the 10th. The line shifts, and all of a sudden they become over 2-1 favorites. I grab the Guardians plus the 170 and change, and Cleveland ends up scoring 2 in the bottom of the 10th inning, and they win 7-6. I mean, these extra inning games, boy, with baseball, they are great. I whether you bet the over or you bet both sides, like we talked about, it does come out a lot of times, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. That's like you like to say, cha-ching, cha-ching. You know, we'll just ring the register there. Right? That was good. So when you're in these situations like this, you know, we were talking during the break, like with the Yankees against the Marlins, would you rather take a shot? And I know you love those plus monies and you love to grab a big number. Marlins bullpen has been just epically bad so far this season. Yankees plus 2.5 or Yankees on the money line? What would you rather have?
I'm a money line guy. Give me the money line. Even though Judge or Stanton's capable of hitting a solo home run, right, and they lose 4-2, but because they're a feast or famine team. But that makes me think, okay, if it's a feast or famine, it'll be feast. So it won't be 4-2. You know, guy gets on first base, steals second, grounded a third, and sacrifice fly. Who cares? We lose 4-2. That doesn't happen with the Stags. So yeah, if I'm gonna do it, might as well do it 10-1 on the Yankees, which isn't a bad bet, you know. Right?
Hold on, timeout. We need a sound because we got the goal horn. We're gonna need a big crack at a bat sound. Put it in the board for the boys because we just got a big fly for the Baltimore Orioles, 7-5 in the top of the 7th. Your Red Sox bullpen is literally melting down. It was a wild pitch, and then a boom, boom, boom. 7-5. We got the over. We got a 2-run lead. Things are looking up here for the Orioles. You know, this is good.
This was 5-0, Dave.
I'm excited.
This was 5-0. 5-0, and my pitcher was going cruising through 5 innings, striking out 6. And I like Cora, but
yeah,
you take him out of the game.
Different world now. It's it's a you know, sometimes smart guys and everything. Listen, I don't know what's going on in that dugout. You make a decision, but when you're watching a game from afar and you're watching it like this, and you go, "Why did he take him out?" I don't know. I mean, that's the first question in the post game. I used to go in those locker rooms, right? You go in the clubhouse and you go, "What was Cutter tired?" You know, or why'd you take him out? And then you get mad because, you know, you're questioning there. You're trying to be a manager from the press box or from, you know, wherever you're at. I don't know. It's a legitimate question, but boy, I'm glad he did, because now it's 7-5, and he ain't even taking Martin out. Martin's still he's throwing 24 pitches this inning. Just gave up a 3-run bomb. Wild pitch, everything. Here's Holiday up. Maybe he's going to get his first big league hit here. He's 0 for 3. This should be kind of fun if Holiday can get a base hit. These guys all over the place, Scott. Hey,
this would be the only good thing. If he gets on base with 2 out, it would be like the classic steal base, you know, situation. I don't know if the dude steals bases in the minors or not. He was plus 750, but you're up 2 runs. You got 2 outs. Top of the order up, but that's okay. We make the last out. We'll have the top of the order up in the 8th inning. This is like the perfect spot for him to get on base. He did.
Right.
Naturally.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I'll let you know if he does. We'll keep an eye on this.
I once got Lou Piniella mad at me one time. I asked him about why he took a pitcher out of the game. In fact, he took Ron Guidry out of the game. Believe it or not, I'll date myself when I was covering the Yankees for FAN. Yeah, he was spitting pizza at me and everything else. The glory days. Yeah.
They don't
He's
like
in there
that.
in his underwear, right? They take all. I don't know why they take their pants off, right? I mean, they're sitting there in the long johns they have on, right? He's sitting there behind the desk. He stands up. He starts spitting pizza. What do you mean? Why did I take Guidry out? Right? And I'm like 22 years old, 23 years old.
Right.
That was kind of fun.
I asked Lou Piniella questions in the clubhouse when he was the manager at Cincinnati. It was 1990.
Cool. Okay.
I spent the summer going over to the games at Three River Stadium when the Pirates were winning the division. So Lou was one of the managers I got to interview, you know, and I was 19 years old. I mean, I was like shaking the first couple times I went over there. I was like, all right, just own it, like figure it out. But Leland, they used to just be in those long, I mean, like literally just get that uniform off immediately and sit there and answer the questions like it was nothing. Tommy Lasorda, Lou Piniella. Boy, I have to go back and look. I forget who the manager of the Mets was. But, it was Davey Johnson, I think, in 1990. Was it Davey Johnson when the Mets were battling the Pirates for the divisions, right?
Yeah.
It was those guys were classic baseball guys. Classic. Hello.
There we go.
Chicago coming
Blackhawks.
back. Okay, that's fine.
You
use that game over. That's good to know. All right, we needed that one. Good job with the horn, boys. I love it. I absolutely. I hope you guys watching at home, guys and girls watching at home, enjoy the horn as much as we do. It's a big part of the show. I could use it again for Edmonton here in the first. End of the first period. 1-0. Game going under or over? We got a 1-0 game. Game close 6.
A lot of juice to the under, minus 158. But Hill's in there. I would think under. Hill playing well. Gave up an early goal, or at least a goal anyway, the first period. You know, without McDavid in there. Let me just confirm McDavid's not playing. I should have done this. I'm assuming not. Like I said, the whole day the
9 shots to 7 shots. That's it.
Wow.
9 shots for the Knights, 7 shots for Edmonton. Second period over. I'll tell you that right now. That's a play.
You think?
Bet the second period over.
I know you love those second period overs. You do.
Not a penalty called. Not a penalty called. There was no power plays in the first period. So there will be a power play or 2 in the second period. We get more goals, over 1.5. If you can find that total, over second period. Give you that one. That one's for the boys, just to let them know.
All right. Coming down to the wire, 42 seconds left. Cleveland by 12. So it looks like Memphis is going to cover. What did we say, right? One team, one monster underdog is going to cover, and you watch the other one will cover or won't cover. So it looks like Cleveland won't, and barring something crazy, Oklahoma City will cover, leading by 31. So Dallas up 13. Miami coming back a little bit, late 11, but
what happened to the Magic? What happened to the Magic? They're down 64-50 at the half.
Yeah. Giving up 64 points is what's, they're generally a good defensive under team. Bucks are too, for that matter, but not tonight.
Right.
I think all these teams, Dave, we said it, so many times, they just don't care. Whatever, we're going to try. We're not going to get anybody killed. We're going to cut back on minutes. You hear coach after coach after coach say we're more concerned about the postseason, getting guys healthy and ready to go. It's such a long haul, but it really isn't. They have so many days off in between these games now that it really is not that big a deal, the postseason. But
the NBA postseason.
Yes.
The NBA
hockey
postseason.
Yes.
Yes.
Hockey is a grind. You know why? Because you don't get blowouts in hockey. Every game is big, like strenuous. Whereas NBA, you get blowouts all the time in the postseason.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So
I can't wait for the postseason.
Yeah, that should be good. Been to a ton of postseason playoff games. They're a lot of fun, too. Definitely a lot of fun.
Best.
All right, quick little break, then back to the board. InGame Live, PrimeTime, here on the Grid.
I mean, is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing the player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, looking at the little NBA, little hockey, little baseball. We got Masters Golf Talk coming up with Brady Cannon in about 15, 20 minutes or so. So keep it where it is, as they'll hopefully give us a couple of winners with some props and who's going to actually win the tournament. But in the meantime, we got some NBA games starting here in a little while, including Denver and Minnesota. The subject of our Let's Go to the Alternate Universe to get some winners. Ooh, there you go. This is the game where we pick in which we adjust the lines a little bit. What's alternate universe, you ask? So on many of these sites, they allow you to adjust the lines. Case in point, Denver is a 5.5-point home favorite against Minnesota. You could make that. You could lay 10.5, 8.5, 12.5, 15, and then get bigger odds, obviously. You could take the over-under and lower that or raise it, however way you want to go. So we, try and get the odds that are in our favor, Dave. I will say no Karl Anthony Towns tonight from Minnesota. So a little surprised they're only a 5.5. Well, now it's up to 7.5. Okay, there you go. Right. So they officially announced that Towns is out, and that line jumped a couple of points. Not happy about that. You'd really have to lay double digits if you want to go that route. You could take Minnesota, who's terrific against the spread, and get less points. Plus 3.5 and plus 172. So I think I'm more inclined to take the underdog, but I'm going to stay away from the teacups. Even though it's a big game, first place on the line, I just think Denver's a better team with or without Karl Anthony. So give me, though, the over. No Towns in the middle. Not that he's a great defensive force. They'll miss some more on the offensive end. But, I think we're going to get some points tonight. The regular over-under is, 213.5? Yeah, give me over 220.5. What do we got for that? Plus 164. Not too bad. You know what? Let's go bold. Over 221.5. We're going to go for plus 186. Close to 2-1.
Wow.
That's where I'm going.
All right, we've done this show enough where, we don't take it personal when we're on opposite sides. I mean, your name is opposite picks. I initially like this game under, and then what happens is Karl Anthony Towns is ruled out, then everybody goes up. They're going to go over because he's not playing defense. Everything you just said, I'm still a book guy at heart. I would sit there and go, you know what? I like this game under before. I like it more under now. So give me the under, alternate total. All right. I think I'll dive as low as what I like that 205.5 because I get the 205 and under plus 158. Could maybe even go 203.5 and slide that thing down there and get almost 2-1. So yeah, I like under. I don't know about the side. I think the initial reaction here is to take Denver and lay in a couple extra points, but caution, danger, Will Rogers, danger. That's a reference that only me and you get. That's only me and you. Your ass one was for you.
Don Robinson.
That's for
Don.
Yeah. It's Google that one. Look it up. It's pretty good. Danger, Will Rogers, danger. You'll know what that means. I don't know about the side. I really don't.
How about a prop here? No Karl Anthony Towns, right? So in FanDuel and the like, the boys in Vegas, they're a little wise to this. So they generally bump these guys up a point or two, and they're doing that with Anthony Edwards. 26.5 is his total. Especially for you who think it's going to be a lower scoring game. How about going under? Because in the 97 games that Edwards has played without Towns in the lineup, he actually averages only 23 points, which is slightly below his average versus getting more. Most people think, okay, without Towns, he's going to light it up, but that's not been the case. So getting yourself a couple of extra points, maybe under 26.5, and maybe they call off the dogs. I mean, I wouldn't think they would, but, who knows?
Did you just dial that up on the fly? Was that one of those moves that you just dialed up right on the fly while I was talking in a graphic?
I did.
Behind the scenes? Guy's always working. That is how you get that. I mean, that's how you get the information. I kind of like the bet too, just to be perfectly honest. I kind of like the bet. That's the move in the book. You initially, you get the ruling. The game's going to start 7:10 Pacific, so 40 minutes from now. You adjust the other guys that touch the ball more. You move their numbers up a little bit. We get a better number than we would have gotten pregame on the adjustment, and I like the bet. This is good. I could use you in a risk room. I'm still hoping that this consulting gig comes about. We could tag team it to little S&W corporation. When you're away with the kids and traveling and all the things, and you can still do the ref. I'll cover for you. Then when I got to either go coach or go, on these recruiting visits, all this other stuff, you could cover. I think this could work. I'm on board with all of it.
Yeah, I found this new site called Google. It's I think it's going to be very successful. I would definitely invest in it. Yeah, Google, a weird name. Who would pick that name? But I got a feeling it's got a future. It's pretty good. So YouTube, I understand, is pretty good as well. That you can find out some things. So just a little secret insight. Don't tell anybody about those sites. Just keep it for us. So. Yes. All right. How are my beloved Red Sox doing now? Down 7-5, top of the 8th. All right. Guess. Oh, the Yankees got a runner in. How about that? Runners on first and second. 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Now down 4-2.
Hello.
So if you would have taken
that plus
the
2.5 was good.
Suggested, I know, right? It don't be me. I grabbed the 10-1. Although I'll take my chances at plus 280 now. But it's fun.
You're one big fly away from tying it up. You're fine.
Yeah.
Let's just get another
Rizzo
runner in.
Too.
Oh, okay. So we got 4-2, bottom of the 8th. I'm happy about them getting the run now because they can get a couple in the 9th. If this thing, would you look at the total? Because if they tie it, it's flying over the total, right? Obviously. Right. So you got a shot. If you could, this is the last opportunity usually to bet the total is in the bottom of the 8th. It might already be off. Let me click it here. So it's 6.5 right now at the book I'm looking at. So you think they're going to score, whether it's now, top of the 9th or bottom of the 9th, you take a shot over 6.5, and it doesn't have to happen right now. I love that bet because the total gets turned off in the 9th. So there's your opportunity there. You got a runner at third for Baltimore. You got a runner at third. 1 out.
This will be a tough loss for the Red Sox. Minus 13-1 now in Baltimore. 5-0. Oh, blow a 5-0 lead at home against a division rival. You're trying, nothing out of the Astros. Cincinnati was getting no hit, although they have a runner on base. Oh, 4th inning. Let me just see if they got a base hit. Still no hitter. 2 outs in the 4th inning. Wade Miley pitching.
Okay.
So keep an eye on that.
Okay.
But 6-0 Brewers. The Reds are a little bit of a disappointment. I didn't think they were going to be great this year, but a lot of people did. And we got
too early in the season to call teams disappointment, Wetzel. It's just a slow start. Relax.
You can't have slow starts. Yeah. If you're the Reds or Cardinals or Cubs and the division is there, like the Brewers, no slow start. They said, okay, you know what, we're here. Here we are. And you're Pirates, right? In a division that you couldn't give me a team that I'd really be surprised. Maybe Pittsburgh, but I wouldn't really be surprised if they were leading after 2 weeks. You gotta jump on this stuff. You can't fall behind the 8 ball too soon. So
Pirates have a big series this weekend. They start tomorrow. 4-game set in Philadelphia. Yeah, this is one of those ones that you get to see where they stand and stack up against one of the best teams in the league. I think Philadelphia's excellent, and they're going to be right there with Atlanta for a while. I'm interested to see. I mean, I looked ahead to see what the opening number was. It's minus 150 tomorrow with Philadelphia.
Wow.
So, yeah, you're going to see lines where you go, those are the ones where you go, all right, That might be on your podcast tomorrow, the Opposite Picks podcast, taking the Phillies.
It might be. You know what's weird? I know it's going to sound like obvious, but the Dodgers are 10-5, right? Not bad. 10-5 is obviously pretty good, but their lines aren't quite as high as they thought they would be. Now, they had a lot of road games, so that takes into account. But I tell you, Dave, when you look at the starting pitching of the Dodgers every single day, it's like, who wants to lay 2-1 on Bobby Miller and James Paxton and all these other bums? I didn't say bums, but all these other mediocre pitchers. It's like, wow. I mean, you knew that going in to the season, right? I mean, obviously, okay. But when you actually see it and start breaking down games, it's like, I got to lay 2-1 with Bobby Miller, with Ryan Yarbrough. What? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Dodgers won't be as great record-wise as maybe there's a reason why lowered to 103.5. That total.
They're going to be
Their
great.
pitching is not good.
I was going to say because they're going to score runs. Offense can overcome a mediocre to slightly above average pitching staff. It's the elite pitching staff that covers for an inept offense or a below average offense that makes a team really good. It usually ends up in October success. The Dodgers have Yamamoto pitching against someone named King on Friday night. They don't play tomorrow. Big series against the Padres on the weekend. They're going to be $2 favorites. They're going to be the whole weekend against the Padres, who I still don't know if are a good team or bad team. Jury's out on the Padres for me.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk some golf. Brady Cannon next. Masters starts tomorrow.
I mean, is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool, and so far just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing a player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for another 20 minutes or so. Watching the NBA, little NHL, some baseball, and golf. The Masters starts early tomorrow morning at Augusta, Georgia. Talking about it and joining us now, our good buddy, talks golf all the time. He watches him on SportsGrid all the time. And on the radio side of things, Mr. Brady Cannon. What's going on, Brady? How are you tonight?
Oh, boy, we're almost there, gentlemen. It's like Christmas Eve right now. I got to do a few stocking stuffers in the way of bets before I lay my head down to rest. But we're almost home. I'm ready for action.
You know, you were talking to – go ahead, Dave.
No, go.
I'm just saying, there are so many guys, we were talking during the break, like big names, Brady, that you're getting like 25, 30, 35 to 1. You're actually getting some halfway decent prices if you eliminate, Scott or Scheffler. Outside of that, all these other guys are actually giving you a decent number.
No, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I was almost – I made a bet at the beginning of the year in January on a guy that I expected to have a bounce back year, and that's Justin Thomas. He had an awful 2023, and I bet him before the season even started to win the Masters at 34 to 1. And he started off really well, and I was like, okay, this is looking good, kind of what I expected for him to bounce back. Now, in the last few weeks, he's missed the cut at the Players' Championship. He went into the weekend at the Valspar as the in-game favorite and then just absolutely blew up. Spit up all over himself, and then fired his caddy, Bones Mackay, Mickelson's former caddy, who won several Masters with Mickelson, won a PGA with JT. We're almost seeing 60 to 1 now on Justin Thomas. I almost put another, couple of shekels on him. I mean, that price is insane, to your point. Colin Morikawa, who's been in bad form, is, 40 or 50 to 1. Victor Hovland, who's been in bad form, is up to 40 to 1. A lot of these guys that are getting faded are, like you say, massive names that are, anywhere. I mean, Will Zalatoris is up to almost 40. So, we were also talking about the break, and I think Dave and I, you mentioned it last night, Dave, that this is a tournament when you throw out, the debutantes and the former champions and the amateurs and some of those, kind of journeyman tour players who maybe just got their first win and they're in the Masters for the first time or what have you. There's about 35, maybe 30. Dave, you said, 15 last night or something. I mean, it's a small number of guys that can actually win this. So you take those 25 or 30 guys, you pick 6 or 8 out and you put your money down on them. But to your point again, Scott, some of those 25 or 30 guys are shoot 80, 60, 50 to 1. And if the field is truly that small in your mind, that's a heck of a price.
Brady, in a couple weeks, we're going to have the Kentucky Derby. And this is reminding me of the Kentucky Derby handicap, okay? You put in all this work. You're one of my favorite ball strikers that walks planet Earth, okay? I know you're writing articles, you're hopping around the books and doing all this stuff, finding prices, and then it rains. If it rains tomorrow, what the hell do you do? It's like those horse guys that come in the book. They got the buyer's numbers. They looked at the Wood Derby, the Santa Anita Derby. This horse runs like this on this track. This guy putts like this on this grass. The skies open up tomorrow. We're talking about the rain. I brought the umbrella hat.
No, it's good, and you're going to need it. About midnight tonight Eastern time, 9 p.m., pretty soon. I think the rain is supposed to start in Augusta, Georgia. And, it's supposed to go all the way through tomorrow afternoon, almost through the entire list of tee times tomorrow. Now, I'm sure it's probably going to be off and on. I don't think it's going to be a torrential downpour, but there is electricity in the air apparently, and lightning will certainly stop a golf tournament. Augusta National is one of the very few properties in the world that has sub-air systems under the greens and under the fairways. So they can really alter Mother Nature and suck that moisture out of the fairways, out of the greens, keep this golf course fast and firm and dry. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, there could be stoppages in play. There could be delays. And because the rain seems to be fairly steady throughout the schedule of tee times on Thursday, I don't know if there's going to be a draw bias, like where the early start times are at a disadvantage or the late times are at a disadvantage. I don't know if we're going to see that. And I hope we don't, because that kind of ruins a golf tournament. It's more like playing weatherman than it is handicapping the golfers. We saw it last year a little bit. Brooks Koepka fell right into place and avoided and dodged all the weather and the delays and this and that, and got out to that lead. And then the sun came out on Sunday and Jon Rahm caught him. The weekend is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous here. Temperatures in the low 80s, very little wind. It ought to be just a fireworks show on Saturday and Sunday. Friday, the wind is supposed to blow a little bit, and of course the rain we're talking about on Thursday. I hope it really dries up. I hope it's not too impactful, because it ruins the flow of things for the players and also for us fans and bettors.
All right, couple props here, Brady. Hole in one. Figured it out, with 89 golfers, 4 par threes each round, 50 people or so make the cut, at least 50 anyway. You got about 1,100 chances at a hole in one. -2 to 1, 230 on FanDuel. I've seen it as low as -2 to 1 for the yes, +160 for the no. Where are you going?
I'd bet the yes, and it's probably a few more than 1,100 chances, Scott, because you talk about the top 50 and ties. So, all those guys that are tied for 50th, you're probably looking at about 60 players that make the cut. And again, we talked about amateurs, debutantes, former champions, the old guys. That's about, 20 guys right there or so, more if you include all the debutantes and stuff. So, it's almost like it's a field of 60, 65 guys anyway. That's why I think the Tiger to make the cut bet is really tough. You're kind of trying to, thread a needle there. Is he going to be one of the bottom 15 or 20, or is he going to be one of the top 60 or 65? There's not much room for error there. Tiger, I know some sharp bettors have bet Tiger to miss the cut, and why wouldn't you? But again, if 60 guys are going to make it to the weekend, and now you're giving me like +130 on Tiger to make it, I don't think that's such a bad price. Maybe it's almost like you can bet this both ways. I don't know what the opening price on him was to miss the cut, but there could be prices both ways. Anyway, with that many guys making the cut, Scott, and we talked about it last night, the 16th hole seems to surrender a hole in one just about every year. Dave brought up another prop where you can bet it just for a hole in one in the final round. I would not want to do that. I'd want to have as many chances at it as possible, even though there's still going to be a lot of guys around on Sunday. That's only one round of golf. I'd want to bet it beforehand. Give me all 4 days, all the players in the field. You never know. Fred Couples at 64 years old might make a hole in one. I'll take that. He's still capable of it. I'd lay the price. I think that 16th hole is probably where it comes, and you've got 3 other holes where it might come as well.
Yeah, that would be fun. If Freddie gets an ace, you want to talk about a moment that's going to last forever? I'd love to see it, even if he's not in contention. All right, BK, I'm going to test you here for a second. I'm going through these props myself, and I said I can't wait to ask, again, one of my favorite ball strikers on planet Earth, this question. Cut score. +3 or better is -150, okay? Or +4 or worse is +110. I can't decide if that's a better bet because I want to bet +3 or better. But the tournament winning score, Brady, -12 or worse is even money. -13 or better is -125. You just said the weekend's going to be perfect. I like -13, -125 rather than the cut score.
I do too.
Because I'm worried about this rain.
Yeah, the cut score is really tricky. You're right. The weather's a factor. Friday, the wind is supposed to blow. I mean, the players may finally get a reprieve and get some weather where they can get out and score on the weekend. And it could be birdies ablazing, with that weather nice. And I don't think the rain's going to soften up the course too much. We talked about the sub-air systems. I don't think it's going to get really gettable because of the weather and the moisture. But yeah, Thursday and Friday, you're dealing with the weather factor. It doesn't look like we are on Saturday and Sunday. I wouldn't want to mess with that cut one. That's kind of tough. And I'd probably lean more towards the higher score with that weather factor. But as far as making a bet, I'm with you. I think it's going to be better than 12 under par. I'd go to 13. I could see, you give me any golfer in the field and tell me he's going to finish 14 under. I'll take it right now.
How about lowest round? 7.5 is the cut even point. So is someone going to shoot a 64 or no?
I'd say yes. I'll take the under. I think 63 is the course record. Okay.
Right.
And that's only been done a few times. But I think these guys are so good now. And now you've got, some of the live players in this field who are obviously world-class players as well. So it's not just like a normal PGA Tour event where those guys aren't around, or a signature event even where the best tour players are there. Now you've got everybody, the best players in the world, all on this stage. So I think a 64 is out there for sure.
Brady, how hard is it to get a bogey-free round at this thing? Because this is another market that a lot of people are play, and you see these, everybody's a plus price. It's really hard. I tell people this all the time. Like, it is so hard to go, I think, at Augusta, bogey-free for an entire round. Now, the top guy probably will do it. Maybe multiple guys will do it. But, I mean, is Rahm plus 350 worth a bet? I don't think that's enough. Like, I'm looking at Matsuyama plus 450 to go bogey-free round and all in a tournament.
It doesn't happen all that often. And you're spot on, Dave. Guys are going to do it. And if a guy does it, he's going to move up the leaderboard quite a bit. You might have the winner put together one round where he's bogey free. You're going to have some guys do it. The tough part is picking out who, and I would say Augusta is a little bit more forgiving in that regard than, let's say, a US Open, maybe even a PGA Championship, maybe even a British Open. The winning score, we're talking 12, 13, 14 under par. That's different than a U.S. Open for sure, who's shooting for a winning score of level par. The British Open, you never know. If the weather goes sideways, your winner could be, a few under par. PGA Championship, it could be anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12. They've kind of gotten tougher in the last few years, really tough last year at Oak Hill. It's not to say that the Masters is the easiest major. It just lends itself to more scoring with that back nine where you have eagle opportunities and birdies and stuff like that. It's still hard to get around there without a bogey. So it's probably one I'd stay away from, Dave. It's so hard to predict. There's not metrics you can rely on necessarily. You could look at bogey avoidance, but it's going to happen. Just hard to figure out who's going to do it.
All right, Brady, good job. Appreciate it. Should be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather won't play too much of a factor. Where nothing worse than having someone go under par and he hit one into the slop. So, but it should be fun. Brady,
yeah,
good
as
job
much as I'm rooting for my bets to cash, I'm rooting for good weather too, boys.
Please.
Exactly. Back after this wrap-up shot.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
the fact that I've been able to move to a home that I'm very excited about is it's really cool. And so far, just love everybody that I've met at SportsGrid, and I'm just super pumped for the opportunity. Sometimes things that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking, whether it was me playing and just trying to get a tidbit on the golf course and certain thing a player might have learned. Now I'm getting that information because I don't mind asking it.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime, wrapping up shop here. Thanks to Brady Cannon joining us as talking a little golf with him. Little public service announcement here, Dave. This is why I don't bet this market. We didn't have a chance to talk to Brady about this, but when you bet in golf, top 5, top 10, top 20s, right? I mean, if in fact, every site I'm sure is different, and you can let me know if this is just the norm, but with FanDuel anyway, let's just say you say Tiger Woods is going to make the cut and he's in the top 10, and he's tied for top 10 with 4 other golfers, right? Which happens all the time. Well, you lose 4/5 of your bet. If you're, $100 player, you're going to lose $80, and then they're going to pay you off on the $20. That's how they do it. If it's a head-to-head, 2 guys tied for 10th, you lose half your bet, and you're only going to get paid off on how many, in this case, it would be 50% of your bet, so $50. So it's like there's a lot of guys that tie for top 10 or top 5 or top 20. So I'm not a big advocate of that market at all because, well, you think, okay, my guy's tied for top 10, sure. You think you won your bet at 15, 20 to 1, whatever it is, and you find out, no, you lost your bet because he's tied with 7 other guys. So just a little something to consider before you put your money down on that stuff.
Something that was brought over to this country from across the pond is the dead heat rule. You have to learn the dead heat rule when you bet those markets in golf. We didn't do that stuff in Vegas. You just got paid on the bet, and then, if it was a push, it was a push, and it was pretty simple. But they made it more complicated. Soto walked. Here comes Judge. Down 5-2.
Bases loaded.
Everyone that's still left at Yankee Stadium is on their feet. The Orioles won. The Oilers are up 3-0. If the boys want to crank the goal horn for a second, just real quick, because they scored all the goals. Down a baby! Down a baby, Vinny!
There you go.
Appreciate you, sir. Love when you crank
Mavericks
that
won
horn.
as well.
Mavericks, easy win. We're having a hell of a night.
Yeah. Too bad San Jose's not playing. Otherwise, we could be rooting against the Sharks. So good luck with the Mets, Dave.